Okay. Um, First of all, I just want to start off. I know it's hard to see me. I want to make it clear that I'm choosing not to be seen because, um, at the end of the day, this video is not really. The videos I make are not really just about me. It's just about what I'm going through, and what I'm going through is happening to many people from all around the world, men, women, and children. And what we are, we're just test subjects. And unfortunately, we go through some horrible things. You heard some of the stories. But at the end of the day, we gotta understand what this is about. We are test subjects for this governmental technology, this program where they're utilizing very sophisticated technology. It's supposed to change who we are and make us accept these manipulations. It's been disgusting to deal with this thing, but you gotta be strong. If anything gives you some kind of dignity and honor, you gotta see things for what they are, and you gotta be strong in you, knowing who you are, because they are trying to redesign. Well, let me just say this better. They are redesigning your reactions. Your body is being destroyed as physiologically. They destroy your body, but this is easy to kind of understand. You are getting sick. Your body is getting weaker. Your muscles, like you're losing everything in that level. Even your sight, your teeth, all of that. These are things that you see. You're decaying your ways, and they're doing that via this technology. And that aspect is just obvious. It's obvious in the sense that you can see. It's tangible. What's untangible is the reactions and feelings and sensations that they make you experience. This technology is extremely sophisticated, but the perps do not need to be. I think they become children if they're not already children. What I call perps and what you're gonna hear about perps is the people that are contracted to interact with you. Right? The technology that we're talking about are voice to skull technology. Voice to skull is this very sophisticated technology to be able that's able to pipe in voices. So you hear this interaction from perps. They are contracted by this governmental entities to agitate you, to disorient you. You see things for what they are. They're trying to confuse you and create this painting of a comical facade. At this point, it is comical. It is comical because you obviously are validated in so many fashion that okay, this is about this does this. Obviously, I'm forced to experience this, and they are trying to present that this is anything by a massive government utilizing human beings as test subjects. And they get very agitated when you're not subscribing to this facade. At least in my perps. My purse, for sure, I'm like, I know what this is really about. I know what you guys do to men, women, and children. I know what you guys really are part of. So that brings a frustration to them because they have harnessed this facade that's so full of shit and disgusting. You're supposed to see them, at least in my case, right? The perps. And this is not just unique to me. Target and Vigil, we have this facade presented to us to make us think that this is who is doing that to us. That this group of people are this satanic cult, this crime organization doing that to us. That this, and of course, it's not true. Look at what they're capable of doing to you. Look at the sophisticated. Go anywhere in the world, this thing will follow you. This torture will follow you. What crime organization can even do this thing? Go in the airplane. You hear you go to the this will happen to you everywhere, and it's obvious that it's the government entities doing that, and you hear the same story, and it's so specific and surreal how specific things are when you hear other testimonials. And obviously then you find out that there's been technology of that nature been worked on for years by this Department of Defense. But they create this facade of all sorts, right? And let me tell you, perps can come in all shape or form. They come, children can partake. And matter of fact, for me, they prefer utilizing children, because children mentally can easily already create a fantasy, like in the sense of like reality is fantasized. They create, easy to create and the horrible things that is applied to us in ways that are just so easy. You've seen that these people they can dress the way they go to bed, doing these horrible things to us. So the simplest is so simple in the sense of how they can harm us, because this technology is so sophisticated that the harm can happen to us remotely, meaning that they don't need to be present here to do these horrible things to us. And so you heard these testimonies of women being in pain. You heard this testimony that I keep bringing up, that every time I bring that up, these childlike individuals are supposed to agitate me by telling me how I'm rotting. Not because they want to know, tell me my health situation. It's because they try to counter things like that. So you understand what they do. This is done to them, to us, remotely. So my point is, the facade that they try to present are just ridiculously clown-like. And they create stories where they're like, we're avenging, we're investigating. You're not doing that. What they're doing is they're developing this technology, utilizing us as guinea pigs. And the tactics. And every time you put things in perspective, you hear this person that keep writing, because what they're calling out is, my organs are being destroyed by the same technology that's burning her genitals. And they use people. I mean, if you see who's telling you keep writing, it's also laughable. It's some trash in some pages say, keep writing. You see who she, look at her. The point is, they can do these horrible things, and it doesn't take any strength of any sort. A child can be killing you. A child could be rotting you. And then they use these childlike agitation tactics to disorient you, because like you've seen this woman's, you know how she's burning, their genitals are being burned. It's done remotely. A child can do that to her. What's happened to me? A child can be doing that to me, because the government is running this program and they're utilizing this trash as the implementers of this program. And they use these childlike retards. That's why I call them retards. I'm sorry for the language I use, but that's the best way I can describe that. And they try to make you believe this fantasy of what this is about. And the frustration that I can pull up a video like this and you hear a woman talk about how her genitals are so burned that she goes into shock, and they will try to present themselves as this fierce femme fatale, protecting women, avenging women. It's comical too. It's laughable. Not that this woman being tortured is laughable. It's laughable that people involved in the program that does these things to women will be like, oh, we are this group of feminine, of avenging women. It's so disgusting. And so with me, what's happening is they try to cope with the reality of what they're part of them being involved in some program where women can be tortured in this heinous way. And children too. So you know how this is going? At this point, they wanted to be perceived as, oh, you were so angry. Oh, you pay for what you've done. Pay. But who can say these things when they involve in things that does these things to women, to children too? Just even participating in something that can do these harmful things to children, to women, is something that... And then they try to make you believe that you are this threat to our girls. You hear this fucking low-life clown that torture children, even little girls, little boys, women. Say, oh, our girls, we're protecting our girls. You know why? Because this technology does other things that are very, very sophisticated. Perhaps one might say even more sophisticated than what they can do to us physiologically. It's the psychological manipulation, the cognitive manipulations. That is a whole nother level. That's when you're like, oh, wow. Because it's easy to believe that, okay, your body's being tortured, and because you feel the pain, you feel that what's happening to your health. But how do you explain your brain reacting this way all of a sudden? Why also do you have this stimulation, this reaction, this, that? It's like you don't have control of your thoughts anymore. You don't have control of your mind. You don't have control of your reaction. Your memories are being manipulated. That sounds even crazier, but then you get validated. First of all, you know yourself. It's like, what the F is happening to me? Why am I reacting this way? What's going on? This sensation is crazy. No, I'm forced stimulations. These thoughts, all of that. But for me, obviously, after maybe a year of that intense nastiness happening to me, I figured out what it was, and I just like this woman, I understood that I'm what you call a target individual. And what they're doing is they're utilizing this technology that I think they call it EEG heterodyning, EEG cloning, where they can implant and design any reaction they want you to have. Sensations, stimulations, feelings, all of that can be manipulated. It's that sophisticated. And it's been things they've been working on for decades. For decades. For decades, they've been working on how to alter the mind. For example, every day they force me to get a reaction to kids. It's so disgusting. And they would say, listen, they make you have those stimulations, and they all of a sudden say, oh, our kids, our girls. They force you to get the stimulations, then gaslight you for it, right? So that you can identify with this manipulation. To create this psychosis that you feel guilty, like, oh my gosh, oh, they saw this reaction, when they are the one pushing you to experience this. It's nasty. And they try to paint you in this false reality. And they have these clowns contracted to act accordingly. Their job is to break you down into accepting this. They have no shame. These perps can act in ways that you couldn't believe, that they spend so much hours doing these things to manipulate you this way. But we'll be, oh my gosh, pay now. You look at these clowns for the clowns that they are. Look at you. You know what this technology does. But they sold their soul to these entities, and they know that it's going to come back to them. And some of them already, it gets so bad that they even have their own children partake in framing me, saying that I did something to them. That's how compromised these perps become, working for these governmental entities. Listen, the sexual stimulation to our children has been validated that they do that. They can play with your emotion, your reaction, and it's so disgusting. I'll never identify with this manipulation. It is something that's disgustingly happening to me every day. To this point, because I don't go out so much, they go back to what they've made me experience. And it's trying to make me nervous. Right now, what they're bringing up, right? But it's vultures. I remember going to like a brunch date with some perp, Everybody I meet at this point, they just participate. They just involve themselves, get whatever incentive thing, and so I'm going to this. It's a very busy Sunday, bunch of people in this place, and I go in, and there's this person. She just shows us in. You know, she look young. I give her a late teen, early 20s, around that time, that age. I'm nothing at this. Initially, it's okay. We sit down, and then all of a sudden, after we get served food and whatever, and then we pay. She comes back, and but she goes slowly, and she grabs the receipt, looking at me, and I'm like, I'm start feeling sensation. I'm not even looking back to her, but I'm like, whoa, I'm getting a sensation, stimulation. I'm getting stimulations, and the most likely because she's probably like just like me, when I look at her, guessing her age would be like from early 20s, really early 20s to late teens. So 17, 18, 19, 20, around that age group. Right? It's kind of hard to tell. Like it could be, for me initially I thought maybe this like a college, like freshman in college, just started like college. So 18, 19-ish. That's what I'm thinking, looking at the area. Now, listen, at this point, you know how trash these people are? They even expect you to guess everybody's age like that. But what I recognize is the stimulation they were forcing me to have. They give you this emotion and sensation, which I remember they did. I was like, this is nasty. And this girl will know that this is happening, right? Now I know that they all know this thing very well. Because when it came to getting the receipts, she came and she just grabbed slowly, and I was like, oh, you want me to look at you so they can force the stimulations and reaction. And I'm looking at my date, and she's doing that. She wants to be seen so bad that she's just slowly taking her time grabbing the receipts. She's literally just wanting to just me to look at her, and I'm not looking at her, I'm looking at my date straight in front of me. And then she, when it's time to leave, she opens the door and just look at me. I could feel her looking at me, and I know she wants to be seen. She just opens the door for me to just be seen. Stimulation, I can feel it. It's like, why my body reacting this way? Now, for me, if they didn't give me the stimulation sensation, I would have probably thought like she's like I said, very young adult, barely, or maybe a freshman in college. Very, very young. Like, but on the adult side. But when they gave me the stimulation, it's like, oh, this probably like even a kid. Like sometimes when I get this forced stimulation, sometimes that's like, oh, if they give me this stimulation, there must be. So it gets so bad that sometimes, even if I don't see a person and I get the stimulation, I'm like, there must be a child around here. They make this emotion become like a Spider-Man sensation. Like, you know, the Spidey sense? It is so disgusting. And then they try to, right now, for example, like, oh, but you think it's like, no, she's regular. For me, I would see her as like just a regular, like probably like a freshman college. And freshman college kids to me are like kids almost. And they were like, oh, but you think it's like, no, you're giving me this emotion. The reason why I'm feeling this emotion and sensation is because you're making this happen to me. I don't care, pretty or not. What, I would not have this emotion. I would just look at her as like, oh, this is like some young person, whatever. This sensation, this emotion I'm having is because you manipulate me to have that. And I could tell that. And they're like, no, but you think she's pretty, ugly, whatever she is. This emotion, this reaction I'm having toward this person is being manipulated. And at this point, it becomes like, you didn't even guess the right age. They are desperate to make you accepting of this manipulation. When you can obviously tell that you're being manipulated. That these emotions, these reactions are not natural. Not guessing people's age. Am I going to be right if this person is 18, 19, or whatever? Of course I'm not. What am I supposed to be guessing people? If somebody look like obviously like a child, I'm going to be like, oh, that's a child for sure. If this person look like almost like a young adult, I'm like, oh, it's most likely. That's how it becomes. Matter of fact, as I would go out of this, now I see an obvious child for sure. Like this is like a 16-year-old kid. 15, 16. It's like they forced me to get stimulation toward this kid. I'm like, shit, they can do that to babies. But they've tried to make you feel guilty. Matter of fact, it gets so bad that they are framing you. And they're like, oh, this girl that we're framing you with is 17. As if like, okay, why do you need to tell me that? You're the one interacting with her. It's not me. But to stay in character, they start saying this. These people have no shame. And these kids know very well that it's, your body's being changed. Not even your body. They know very well that your emotions are being manipulated. I remember going out of the building. There was this kid, fucking barely, maybe 14, 15 years old. She was so desperate to be seen by me because they know what they can make me experience. This is what they do.
The human nervous system, in order to remotely pick up on someone's neural network or EEG, and not only receive that and monitor it, but manipulate it and place it back into the victim to control their emotions or control their actions or bodily functions for that matter.